And now I would, while seeing all these singers of the World Youth Choir who put together this virtual choir experience, I think it's a perfect transition to hear a bit about the experience of some singers. So as already was mentioned, within the EPIC project, one of the aims is to show how young musicians who join audition youth music ensembles, like the World Youth Choir, develop, and they can go on to build international professional careers as musicians, as singers, conductors, etc. And then for this reason, we actually invited for the project that we had this year, we had to cancel with the National Youth Orchestra of Germany. We made it was an important thing to invite actual alumni of the choir, because not only it brings that component, but it also would give the chance of the singers to come back to the choir, who, well, we'll hear may or may not have impacted their lives. And for this, I will now pass on to them so that they can share a bit of their memories of singing with the World Youth Choir, maybe how it affected their careers, and where they are today as well. So I'll pass the word first to Xavier to hear a little bit about it.
So thank you, Inês. Yes, exactly what happened to me listening to this song, and it is there's a lot of remembrances coming in once. This is a very intense period of the life, or of my life, has been for me meant, I think, like for a lot of other singers, or thousands I've seen in the presentation that have gone through the World Youth Choir. This means a change in the life of a musician, because in once when you are invited for the first time, then you get like a sort of like overwhelming feeling of knowing people from all around the world in 1 month is an extremely intense project. This is exactly what I mean. We heard in the presentation all the positive things what World Youth Choir means, and I encourage all organizers to host this project, which is an incredible thing that stems on every single person that joins on stage or backstage. There is a point that is essential here. Inês spoke about it. This is the emotion, the passion of these all young people, bringing the energy for one aim, binding the world through the music, which is an extraordinary idea, especially in this our world of nowadays. Then when I had the 2 sessions, when I got the invitation from the team, from then my president Jean-Claude, we had 97 Japan and 98 Taiwan and Philippines. This is a, of course, you explained, this is a selection of a double selection, let's say, first in your country and after in the headquarters. So then to compose, which is then going to be the choir, the members of the choir for that session, and it is not a casualty that that after the life of the World Youth Choir, a lot of those World Youth Choir friends that actually last forever. I have contact with plenty of World Youth Choir singers from my generation, and this will stay forever. But what I wanted to say is that this is not a casualty. After you see a lot of them in the professional world, it was to see, because there is in all those young people such a lot of talent, and they are also in a generous way bringing this to this project, to bring their own soul, to their own energy and their own knowledge. And after, it is also it's for the other side. To me, World Youth Choir meant that the world, I got a global vision of the world. Suddenly I had friends everywhere. This local place where I was living became my home everywhere. We did projects in Scandinavia. I did actually with Johannes Schendel, my friend who isn't there. We did also projects in New York. We were traveling around. The world became small, and that helped to get a certain idea of what can also be in the professional world. I am very privileged. I am already 18 years singing as a professional opera singer all around, doing the Lirico Spinto repertoire. But I think that the first energy, the first idea of why not, let's open up to this world, started in the World Youth Choir, the platform of a global vision of what means. And on top, me personally, I also have to be very thankful to the World Youth Choir, because in the session of 98, I met the woman who is my wife after 22 years and with whom I have two wonderful daughters, Saskia Bauma, then representing Netherlands, Holland's delegation. So, I mean, I can't say anything wrong about this beautiful, wonderful project. And my only wish is that this stays with the same energy, with the same spirit, with the same strength, and the same emotion as taking back this reaction of Inês. This emotion that World Youth Choir means for us on stage, for you guys organizing, and for the entire world enjoying such a high level music ensemble. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Xavier. That was a beautiful intervention. I think one of the things that I would definitely highlight, I mean, of course, meeting your wife and your children, I think that's a massive impact in your life, but also professionally, the fact that having traveled once with this group is what actually propels a lot of people to then be able to feel confident in applying for the internship somewhere else, or that music program somewhere else, and feel like I can go somewhere because I know someone who lives there. So it's definitely something worth highlighting.
And please, only one small thing on top. I mean, I am opera singer, but from my generation, from the people I know, so many professional, wonderful professional musicians, conductors, singers, pianists, all spread around. It is a honor, and it is a nice thing to see that these ex-members of the World Youth Choir, which are also your friends, are going on and succeeding in their professional roads. That's also a beautiful thing.
Definitely. Thank you. I'll pass that now to Iris. So you can also tell us a little bit about, where you work now. How was your experience with the choir? Maybe what year you also participated?
Yeah. Well, my first session was in 2002 in Chicago. It was a summer session where there were a lot of alumni singers that I still see now. I think Michael Spires was in there, Vladimir Opacic, Alessandro Cortese. He was the session manager, who later on did a lot more than just well, he was a singer before in the World Youth Choir, and then he did a lot of organizing other sessions for the World Youth Choir. And I heard Mr. Adams, Guy Adams, talking about Christopher Snarby. I think I met him, I think his first session was also in Chicago. And he was the one that later on introduced me to a teacher in Canada, in Montreal. And that opened a door to my opera career, because I started there, coming from Belgium. So I think that's why World Youth Choir will always be in the singers' hearts, because it opens so many doors and you make friends for life. I did other sessions in Jerusalem, also a part of the world where before I would think I would never come, but then you're in this wonderful choir and suddenly you see the world. And yeah, what else can I say? I think I never sang in a choir before, so it was really my first steps as a singer, as yeah, first, not even a professional singer. I was in my first year graduate, so really young. And then but it's like a family. It's like, even when you don't know anyone, when you leave your country, you come there, and maybe even the language is a problem the first week. You can tell a lot with just singing next to each other, and understanding each other through the music, and not through words. um, I learned English there because I didn't speak any any English before. Like many other singers arriving from all over the world. Um, I see that there are still shorter sessions. We in my time, we did summer and winter sessions, and the winter session was well, in my time it was always in Belgium, in very cold, rainy Belgium, here in Namur or in Rochefort. And I remember also a special, I think we called it then the World Chamber Choir for a while. We sang, were you there, Johannes? I think, yeah, I think I met you there. We sang for Remembrance Day of D-Day in Normandy, with only 24 singers, or it was really, but it was so intense because there were, I was Belgian, but there were American, I think Michael Spires was there. There were German singers, French singers. So it was, I think for not for all the singers there, it was so emotional singing there in that place on that day. And we sang Friede auf Erde by Schoenberg, which is a really hard piece to sing with very high Bs for tenors and sopranos. And yeah, the only thing I can remember is singing that piece with tears in our eyes, and this very old soldiers sitting in the front row. And I think it was Volker Hempfling, a German conductor, conducting that session. And yeah, I just remember talking about history, and how I, as a young singer, cannot imagine living in a war, or living in times where Europe is at war. But we did feel it there while singing. And yeah, Friede auf Erde is a good message to sing with the World Youth Choir. And yeah, I hope this message will be kept alive in the choir, and not only in the choir but in the world. And yeah, nothing but good things to say.
Thank you so much, Iris. Also, maybe picking up a little bit from where you left off of this message of peace, you might have seen in the beginning of Kai's presentation that the World Youth Choir was awarded the UNESCO Award for Artists for Peace. And so, especially in the early years, but definitely still now, the choir is very much dedicated to this message of unity. And therefore, if the organizers would like to engage in anything that is, if there's a region, I think recently it was more, we had a session in Germany in 2016 where we were singing with a lot of refugee camps, because it was when there was this attacks in Syria, and a lot of people from Syria were entering Europe as refugees. So the choir still continues to do this work today, and this is definitely something that for organizers, if there's an opportunity there, we're always interested and invested. And it's a huge impact, not only for the region and for the people who see the choir singing, but as you can see, also for the singers to be part of these moments in history and try to showcase peace and unity within an ensemble.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. I will then pass to Johannes to also say a few words.
Hi. Everything basically has been said by Xavier and Iris. The only thing I can add is my perspective. I come from a small village at the Bavarian Alps, a tiny, tiny world, and I went to school in Marktoberdorf. Some of you might know it. A choral composition competition is held there every 2 years. And I had a lot of contact to choral singing in my youth. But going to the World Youth Choir it just changed my life completely, like really from the very bottom. And Jean-Claude basically was on the center of this at that time. I have to say how he treated us singers and young people and brought us together and formed a group. It's not only the conductors, it's the people behind. Is a very strong and important thing. And how that was done in the early days, I have to admire that. That was really great. It also, as Xavier, changed my life personally completely, because also I met my wife in the World Youth Choir. In '95, my very first session, I went to Canada and met Shu Fang. And we have 2 lovely boys now. One is a teenager in puberty, which that's a different thing, but still. I have to be very, very grateful for that. We have a relationship that spans continents. And of course, that's part of the world that we're living in, that is possible. But that wouldn't have happened without this opportunity in this choir. And also my life, my career as a singer was very, very much influenced in many ways and on many levels. One thing that Kai already mentioned is the professionalism of the choir. And I have to say now, today, I'm a singer in the Rias Chamber Choir in Berlin, one of the few professional through paid chamber choirs in the world. And the pieces I sang with the World Youth Choir 25 and more years ago are the pieces that we also struggle with today in this choir. And we had only 12 days of rehearsal for Hendrickx Chorkonzert, the choir concerto, or Strauss der Abend, Friede auf Erden, like Iris said, or even Mahler, Ich bin der Welt abhanden gekommen. Really, really difficult pieces and arrangements. And to make this with such international group is an amazing achievement, especially because most of the people or most of the singers in that time didn't have contact to this kind of music before. As well as we did usually in the second half of the program, completely different stuff like gospel, spirituals, things I never had done in my life before. And it also opened up to me completely to do this kind of things, to experience this kind of things in such a high level with really great people like Albert McNeil, Andre Thomas. Like really, for me, this is top notch, and that was super important. And also the professional conductors that we had: Frida Bernius, Peter Dijkstra, Tono Kaljuste. Like, I think that are really names that in the choral world mean something on the professional level. And as a young singer with 17 or 18 years, to have a chance to work with them is really sometimes mind-blowing. We had rehearsals with Frida Bernius singing Friede auf Erden und Ich bin der Welt abhanden gekommen. I was just like, I cannot describe this feeling to step into this musical world that is so much more than you can expect at that age. And the possibilities and abilities that you get are just off the scale. And also, of course, the chance to see the world, to have a connection to the world, to get away from your own small place that you come from. And, you know, there are dots here and there. You get to know somebody from Argentina and somebody from Kenya and so on. And suddenly these places are not like just a spot on the map anymore. They really mean something to you. Maybe you even travel there and you have somebody to go to. that is just a completely indescribable thing, to have so many places in the world that you are suddenly really connected, not only virtual or something. You know them, and you know them very well, because like Iris said, if you sing beside somebody, if you sing with somebody, this type of music, you get so close, you get so intimate. And that is an experience that you can, I don't know where you can get this. This is really, I don't know sports, I don't know economics, wherever. This is culture, this is music, that's where you get this. And I can only say and hope that the courage to go on with this project, to fund this project, the courage to bring people still together for many, many years is so important. And I think the healing of the world can only be brought by this. There are no other ways to make people understand what it means to live in this world and to be connected and to understand other cultures. There are so small things like, I don't know, when I sing in the Rias Kammerchor, we have so many music with different languages. We sing Russian, we sing whatever. There's nothing yet that I didn't speak yet in the World Youth Choir. It's a very, very small thing, and it doesn't mean a lot. But to me, whenever I sit in this choir, this professional choir, I have to think back of my time in the World Youth Choir and say like, yeah, I've been there, I've done that already. And yeah, it still moves me today. It still influences me today. The connections I have with friends. When I see Xavier today, I immediately feel like I want to meet him now for a beer and we can talk for hours. And the same is with Alessandro Cortese, with Peter Dijkstra, with Vladimir Opacic. There's so many people that are really friends to the core. Like you have an understanding with them that is just beyond explaining. So what can I say? It's so important. Be there, go on, be part of it, try to get it. That's it.
Thank you so much. Once again, beautiful intervention, and I could hear you talk for hours. I always love to hear the perspective of the singers, and it is really true that these connections, these bonds stay forever, and somehow the healing of the world, and especially in times like these, we can all connect through Zoom, but there's something about bringing people physically together that is very special. I think